we'll get started this morning with the Asbury Rams and Coach Chris Williams. And Coach, third year at Asbury, would you introduce the guys that are with you this morning and give us an outlook for Asbury here in 2021?
He's going to be our H. He's going to be one of our few seniors this year. To my far right over here, this is Jacob Guerreri, and to his left is Gavin Johnson. These two kids are going to be sophomores this year. Gavin's going to be our quarterback, and Jacob's going to be our fullback. They're all three going to play important roles on defense as well. As far as the outlook, I'm really excited, looking forward to this year. These kids, these three especially, have shown a lot as far as the leadership goes, as far as working out, being committed, working hard, trying to be the leaders on and off the field. And, you know, our numbers are down a little bit this year, you know, and I could go off on a tirade as far as, you know, with the kids that are not wanting to play sports now, just like, you know, a lot of people are not wanting to do a lot of things, and you know it's just the times that we live in. But we got probably the smallest number as far as the previous 2 years that I've been here. But I have a group of kids that's unified. They're committed to doing what's best for the program. They want to be successful no matter the record. I told them that our win-loss record is not what's going to, you know, define us. It's going to be our character and how we present ourselves on the field, the way that we play the game, and the respect that we have for our opponent, ourselves, our, you know, the coaches, and then more importantly, the officials as we play the game. These three right here are going to be a heavy load as far as our offense is concerned. Obviously, this is my backfield. We're going to try to be a little bit more physical this year. We're going to try to run the ball a little bit better than what we've done in the past. And most importantly, we're going to try to be more successful than we were last year. And one of the things going back to last year is, you know, we only won one game. But one of the things that we did do was in 4 of the other games, we were able to go the full distance. And that's something that we had not been able to do in the previous years as being a varsity football program. So this year, when we have that opportunity to go that distance, our goal is we're going to try to win a few more of those that we had opportunities to. And I think these three right here are going to play a vital role in it. And I just really look forward to the fact that it's 3 weeks away.
Coach, would you talk more about, you talked about small numbers. How many seniors, juniors, sophomores, and how many returning starters would you have on the team this year?
Well, we're going to have 4 seniors. 3 of those have played for years. They've talked to one of their buddies into playing, and so we got 4 seniors, and we're only going to have 2 juniors. Now, our sophomore class is going to be kind of large. That's going to be the heart and soul as far as the future is concerned. But more importantly, with the numbers that we have, I would say that we're probably going to be at about 75% returning starters. We're going to have a handful of kids that doesn't have very much varsity experience, but fortunately last year we got to play enough JV games that gave us an opportunity to get some of those guys some reps.
Okay, questions? Okay.
Hey, Coach. Ron Belaskowitz from the Sand Mountain Reporter. You mentioned getting to go the distance in a number of games last year and a couple close losses and stuff. How do you learn from that and build on that for this season, especially with, like you say, 75% of your starters back?
Well, I think the first thing is you know, as a coach, learning some of the things that we did, you know, as soon as the game's over and we go back and start watching film, even on the bus ride home from away games, we can identify, man, if we'd have done this, the outcome might have been different, you know. And we learn from our mistakes, and then we coach our kids up on those little things. And I think a lot of times people don't realize that, you know, even your elite teams that run the table, you got to have some luck along the way. You got to have ball bounces your way. You got to have a good spot here or there. That's a lot of people don't realize the little things that go on during a game that could be a big change. But I'll say one thing, that what's going to make the difference this year is the hidden yardage. I don't know a lot of people there's a lot of people that don't believe in that stuff, but I'm a firm believer in the hidden yardage. As far as bad snaps, you get a guy, you know, on 2nd down and 2, and we have a false start, and now instead of 2nd and 2, it's 2nd and 7. You have a backside holding call on a 30-yard gain, and instead of having 1st and go at the 20 or 1st and go inside the 10, you're back to 2nd or 3rd down, at the 35 or 40-yard line. So it's the little things that we as coaches can correct, and hopefully the kids will, benefit from. And then, of course, you take a few of those bounces go our way, I think we'll be gaining confidence with the kids.
Starting a brand new program, basically, what is this?
This 6.
I know it's tough to start in the region you're playing, and starting with young guys to get experience. That's just a tough way to start a program. I don't mean to be a negative this morning, but it's been tough.
Well, I'm going to real talk to them. We know the times that we have as far as communicating with the players, letting them know reality. Everybody's got a chance when the game starts. But at the same time, we're realistic. I told our guys that I truly believe there's 5 football games that we have a chance that if we play well, we don't have injuries. Injuries is going to be a big key for us this year to stay healthy. But there's 5 football games on our schedule that if we stay healthy and we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to have a chance in those games. And then it's up to us to make the play to determine that outcome. But now as far as Fife and the other top 4 teams in our region, we're realistic. But what we want to do is we want to go into those games, and I tell our kids, hey, win as many plays as you can one-on-one so that we can build from that.
How many total players you out this year?
Well, that's to be determined.
Okay. When school starts, you'll know, right?
And the reason I say that is simply because of the fact that, at a small school and
Burley
us not
Mountain's
having,
similar,
and,
yeah.
and not having as many upperclassmen, we got a lot of younger kids
Right.
that we don't know if they can get rides there or not. And so
Right.
we're probably going to end up between, right now, I think we have 20 varsity players with 2 or 3 8th graders that's going to play with us, but I'm hoping to dress 25 to 28.
And you're Jacob, right? Fullback, and Gavin, the quarterback.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty big. Did y'all play JV last year?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Are you a little bit nervous about being some of the leaders on the team? I know Dante's a senior, you said, but being so young, is that a little nerve wracking going in, or
It
is it just?
definitely is,
yeah.
yeah. The first few plays of the first game of the season, it's definitely nerve wracking, but you get used to it after a little bit.
Well, you won't be getting the snap from center, but still, you'll be getting the ball a lot. It sounds like.
We've been doing it since our 8th grade year,
Yeah.
so it's kind of just we're kind of used to it,
Right.
but it is still nerve wracking a little
Yeah.
bit.
All right, thank you.
Dante, as a leader of this football team, coming back as one of the only seniors, a lot on your shoulders. Talk about your leadership for this young team this year.
Honestly, I don't really think of it as a leadership because we all put in our part to do what we can, make sure our team does everything we need to do, and practice hard, play hard.
Coach, I was out there last year, I guess, by the stadium. I guess it's the second year that you played in the new stadium.
Last year
Second year. How important was that to get that facility for the football program?
I want to say that it's phenomenal because, before I got the year before I got to Asbury was their first year to have the actual stadium. It was our, so technically we've had the football field for 3 years now. This will be our 4th season there. But we finally got everything going as far as our locker rooms and stuff. We're really excited about what it is. I mean, there's been people that's come from, the different opponents we've had, and they're like, Coach, this is one of the nicest little setups, facilities around. And, I think one thing that we can say is until we get caught up with the Joneses and, the Fifes of the world, or even to the middle of the pack of our region because of how good it actually is. I think the one thing that we can do is we can say that, look, we do have one of the best facilities around, and we take pride in it. And I think these kids are starting to really enjoy and call it home.
Anybody with any other questions this morning?
Coach, sorry if you were asked this already. Just expectations going into the year for you, for this team, just Asbury in general.
Well, I think the number one expectation is the fact that I want us to play with confidence. I want us to play with heart and character, but more importantly, I want us to play with class. I think the big thing that you can do as far as a football team is, regardless of the outcome, you can play the game with integrity, you can play it with class, you can play it with discipline. And I think once you learn to do that, you can become more successful. And I think that we have some personnel now that can put us in situations. We talked about Dante, and he's very selfless. You would ask him about being a leader, and he don't like to consider himself a leader. He just does his job. And so to me, that's one of the things that I love about him. And I try to tell the kids all the time, look, our seniors don't talk very much at all, but they work their tails off. So I've told these underclassmen, I said, look, when they speak, you need to shut your mouth and listen, because apparently they do have something important to say. But Dante, I think last year was around 715 yards rushing, really wanting to push him towards 1,000. These two right here, I'd like for them to, be close to 500 or 600 apiece, because we really want to establish the run. And for us in the region, and you had just asked this earlier, Jeff, about, how do we cope with the region? You've asked us about how difficult it is. We want to shorten the game as much as we possibly can. And being able to run the football is going to do that, and therefore that's going to help us, obviously, on the defensive side of the ball too, because it's going to keep our defense off the field.
I want to ask the guys, all three of you, what does it mean for you that Coach Williams asked you to come today to the media day to represent your football team? If you'd all answer that, please.
It definitely does feel good. It shows that he noticed us putting in work on the off season. So definitely feels good.
It means a good bit because, like, he's got, like I said, the 3 other seniors that he could choose from, but it just feels good that, he watches everybody else on his team and he looks, who to look at. So
I'm honestly honored because out of all the people he's chosen, especially as seniors on our team or starters or anyone else, he picked us 3. The 3 that will follow him for the rest of our seasons, I guess to say.
Anybody else with a question this morning for folks from Asbury? All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys, for coming this morning. And I think you open with Gaston here at home in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.